Hey guys, Madison here, about to watch episode number 6 of WandaVision. I have no idea what's going to happen after that crazy, crazy cameo at the end of last week's episode, and I cannot wait to find out. But first, I wanted to read some of your comments on last week's video. And there are a lot of comments, thank you. But that means I'm not going to be able to get through them all, but I'm going to try to read as many of them as I can. So here we go. Let's hear some of your thoughts and your theories on episode 5. By the way, thank you for helping me out because a lot of you responded to my question about how many episodes are in WandaVision, and there is 9. There are 9 episodes in this season, so we've still got 4 to go, which is very, very exciting. Lucas says, just wow, now that Disney has the rights to Fox's X-Men movies, it seems like anything is possible when it comes to crossover characters. They can bring in either McKellen or Fassbender as Magneto, or even bring both actors that portrayed Pietro, opening doors to the multiverse. I need an aspirin. Me too, Lucas, me too. Yeah, I love Magneto a lot. And I'm a huge Michael Fassbender fan, so if they somehow brought him in because they're like in the 80s, that would be awesome. Leon says, great reaction seeing you get emotional, got me all teary-eyed. Aw. As for my theory, Pietro is actually whomever is doing this to her, Mephisto, Nightmare, whoever. Just as Vision began to convince Wanda of how wrong the situation is, despite its good intentions, the big bad had to hook her deeper by adding another reason she cannot leave. This also offers Pietro direct access to her, the children, in any situation before it goes awry. As for Vision, just like Monica's clothes, Wanda managed to reassemble him to his complete form, minus the Mind Stone. But as long as he's in the Hex, he can function how he always has without the memories. Similarly to a factory reset, but she made sure to keep their love for one another based on her memories of Vision. The biggest question would then be, what is she using to create her twins? Sort of like Full Metal Alchemist equivalent exchange. Are they in fact homunculi without a soul? Do they have fragments of someone else's soul like Vision? Can't wait to see your next reaction. And for the record, no, you're the best, Madison. Thank you, Leon. That's sweet of you to say. Yeah, that I agree with that Pietro showing up at that particular time was very suspicious and probably is indeed another ploy by whoever the big bad is to keep Wanda ensnared, keep her in this trap. Aaron says, yeah, we're into the weird stuff for sure now. My thoughts on the she that's in everyone's minds in order. 1, Scarlet Witch. Wanda is having a bipolar/schizophrenic breakdown. 2, Agnes. She's Agatha, which is why she's aware of what Wanda can do and asks about taking it from the top. 3, Dottie. They're doing a great job of just hiding her in recap shots, even though she's the key to the neighborhood. The white screen for Monica's results is pretty much confirmation that she's got her powers, and I'm guessing she goes by her Spectrum moniker since Maria got to be Photon in the MCU. Lagos. Wanda couldn't clean up her mess. She still got blood on her hands. That's why the first paper towel didn't clean up all of the spill. The friend that Monica mentions could well be Dr. Victor Von Doom. Reed Richards seems too obvious here. That would be really cool if they brought in a Fantastic Four connection. Very nice. Very nice idea. I love the theory that Agnes is Agatha, and I think it's very likely because it's obvious to me that she's not like the other people in the village. She seems to be someone or something else. And yeah, my theory has always been that she is Agatha, who is, of course, Wanda's mentor in the comics, or one of her mentors, I guess you could say. Reality says, wow, that's deep. Reality. Wanda doesn't have the power to bring back dead people, but she does have the power to pluck their counterparts from the multiverse. I believe she can bring back the dead in the comics, but yeah, I could understand, and I hope they don't go there in the MCU, because then you run into the trap of, oh, you can bring back this character and this character. So I hope that there is some kind of limit there. And I hope that one of those limits is like, yeah, you can bring back a different version of them from somewhere else, because you're not actually resurrecting them. You're just plucking them from somewhere else. I think that's a good way to handle that. And they could do a caveat of like, well, yeah, she can resurrect people, but they're going to be more like a zombie than an actual reborn version of themselves. That would be another way to do it. David says, okay, bear with me here. In interviews leading up to this episode, both actors talked about an upcoming Luke-level appearance in the show. I do not think that this is what happened here. In Paul's interview, he said of the upcoming appearance that it was someone he had really wanted to perform with. He has already performed with Sir Ian McKellen. What if, as we progress the sitcom into the 2000s, we might see a CGI de-aged Sir Patrick Stewart as Professor X? Also, the X-Men Quicksilver that showed up at the end was present in the 80s in the X-Men movies, so it makes sense that he showed up in the 80s sitcom. Agreed, that makes perfect sense. And yeah, we could see Sir Patrick Stewart. That would be pretty wild if we saw him come back as Professor X in the MCU. Like, mind blown. Chris says the mind control scene was similar to her New Blend reality, Dad's original X-Men scene at the train station. Quote, I don't think I can stop them all, Charles. Sorry, that was my really bad Ian McKellen impression. Awesome foreshadowing. SPC Cult says Agnes keeps bringing up her husband Ralph, but we never see Ralph. Maybe Ralph is Mephisto. I know, she keeps bringing him up and we never see him. It's very suspicious. Very suspicious. Eternal Density. What if Agnes simply can't drive? Nah, she's sus. Yeah, it's true. Some people just can't drive, but everything she does, Eternal, everything she does is very suspect. Wake and Bacon. I like bacon. Everybody keeps saying Mephisto, but I'm thinking another X-show villain. It is the Shadow King. I'm showing my lack of comic knowledge here because I don't know who the Shadow King is, but I'm sure it's a good theory, Bacon. Chain reactions. Bet you didn't see that coming. No, I did not, and I understood that reference. I think the biggest intrigue is wondering who is the villain, or even how many villains are there? A good question. Angel Garcia, I think that Wanda or the higher entity cannot really bring life back. Vision was not 100% a living being, and so perhaps she was able to revive him, but Wanda or the higher entity can indeed bring the living version of characters from other realities back to this reality. That is why Wanda or the higher entity brought Pietro's version from another reality. Or it could have been one of the twins who brought Pietro here. They asked for him and she told them that he was far away. Another good idea. That would be interesting if one of the twins did it, because they saw how sad their mother was when she was like, oh, he's so far away, and you know, all that, and she was really sad, and they're like, well, I'll fix sad, because to her they were like, fix dead. What if they were like, fix sad? And I agree about Vision that it's different because he's a synthezoid and not an actual like fully like flesh and bone human being. It's different and easier to revive him. Completely agree, because he's more machine than anything. Wilhelm, no one is mentioning the popsicle. Can Peter see that Vision is a corpse? You know, I did not even think of that line that way until I saw this comment. But that would be interesting. Amolong, Amolang, I'm probably saying this completely wrong. Sure, the reveal of Evan was awesome and has me excited for Friday, but the acting from Paul and Elizabeth during the fighting was amazing. I agree. As amazing as the cameo was and surprising and mind-blowing and all that good stuff, the acting from Paul and Elizabeth in that scene blew my mind. It had me on the edge of my seat. It was just so raw and real, and I loved it. Loved that angst. I'm not even going to try to pronounce this one. DSGH says, here I was thinking that Phase 4 of the MCU was going to be boring after the insanity of Phase 3 with Civil War and Endgame. I didn't know where they could go from there, but I figured it would be more low-key. To be honest, I was burnt out on Marvel movies and wasn't really looking forward to the next cycle of movies, and I would have never guessed that this show would be the key to everything. I figured mutants would show up at the end of Phase 4, but they have gone all in, and I am so stoked now. It's early, guys. Give me a break. Black Widow being delayed a year might have been the best thing to happen to give people a chance to unwind from Endgame, and this show is the perfect way to get people back into Marvel. I could not agree more. I was very curious to see how they were going to handle multiverse and where they were going to go after Endgame and all that kind of stuff, and I was a little nervous. I was a little burned out probably, and I was afraid others were going to be really burned out. But I think the year-long break is actually exactly what we needed, because going a year without Marvel, now I'm like really back into it. I'm like, yes, give me all the Marvel. And I think a lot of people are feeling that way. So yeah, this is a very solid start to Phase 4, and I love the direction they're taking so far. Vinarak says, great reaction, and I really enjoy your discussion of the episode. Thanks. I'm hoping they tell us more about the missing person that started the FBI involvement. The acting in this show is fantastic. Agreed. What happened to the FBI informant? Who is the FBI informant? And there's a missing person, right? Or was that the FBI person? I can't remember now. Flora says, if anyone is Mephisto, it's Dottie. Well, that's certainly possible, Flora. Oh man, thank you guys so much for your comments. I'm sorry I was not able to get to them all and read them all, but I greatly appreciate all of them, and I hope you guys will keep commenting this week on episode 6. And without further ado, I think it's time to dive in here and watch episode 6. So let's do this. Let's find out what happens next. This is gonna be interesting.
That's Orcosaurus Rex, not a real dinosaur. Are you old Red Riding Hood?
I'm a Sokovian fortune teller.
Wow, that is so lame.
Lame. Guys, you look gloomy.
That's not exactly how I remember it.
What?
You probably suppressed a lot of the trauma. Whoa, sweet costume, Hamill.
These classic costumes are amazing.
Darling, I know you have a secret thing for Mexican wrestlers.
Me gusta mucho.
Chili con carne.
Oh. But no, that's not what you're supposed to.
What?
Well, you didn't tell me you had plans.
Well, I am telling you now.
She does not like that he's doing his own thing.
Where are we gonna put all the shaving cream? It was Billy's idea.
I'm Tommy.
You forget it.
Okay, but just remember that this is a respectable family.
This show continues to surprise me. Like Billy breaking the fourth wall. That's just so crazy.
If Wanda is the problem, she has to be our solution.
Captain Rambo, you have become an impediment to this mission. Constantly advocating on behalf of superpowered individuals. Yes, I know your history with Carol Danvers. You have no idea what it was like. What it took to keep the lights on. Maybe it's a good thing you weren't here when your mother died. Because clearly you don't have the stomach for this job. Get her off my base.
That was a low blow.
All of them.
That was a low blow. I do not like him. All right.
Why didn't anyone tell me the...
You okay?
That was great. Jimmy Woo.
Unleash hell, demon spawn!
When we were at the orphanage after Mom and Dad died.
You're testing me.
No, I'm not.
Hey, it's cool. I know I look different.
Why do you?
Vision? Oh, he's not on duty.
No, I...
Want something changed?
No.
What's Vision up to? Oh my gosh, that's terrible. It's like a glitch in the Matrix that is so terrifying.
Hungry. I remember hungry. I used to be like that all the time.
What did you do?
Snacked on yo magic, bro. Now I have time to hang fit.
Can I have some?
Yo magic. The snack for survivors.
Okay, that was dark. The Parent Trap. The Incredibles.
That's what you wanted, isn't it?
What happened to your accent?
What happened to yours? Tails are fuzzy, man. I got
Meta.
And please, just remember...
Don't go past Ellis Avenue. We know, Mom, we know.
Hey, be careful!
What's Ellis Avenue?
Program is tracking the decay signature of vibranium.
Vision. Wait, why is Hayward tracking Vision?
These people near the edge of town, they're barely moving. Are they alive?
Oh my gosh, that is so creepy. So creepy. Where is he going?
You're one of the Avengers. You're Vision. Are you here to help us?
I am Vision. I do want to help. But what's an Avenger?
Am I dead?
No, no. Why would you think that?
Because you are.
Because I'm...
Ooh.
Dead. No one leaves. Wanda won't even let us think about it.
Wow, okay. I think we can take from this that Agnes is not Agatha.
Happy Halloween!
Ellis Avenue. Yeah, she's definitely under Wanda's spell. She's not she didn't have any control here or real autonomy, so I think that just shattered our Agnes theories, guys. Can he just walk out of there? What's gonna happen when he hits the barrier? Ugh.
You've gone through the boundary twice already, Monica. The energy inside has rewritten your cells on a molecular level twice. It's changing you.
I know what Wanda is feeling, and I won't stop until I help her.
Okay.
Well, who are they meeting?
Where were you hiding all these kids up till now?
What?
I assume they were all just sleeping peacefully in their beds. No need to traumatize beyond the occasional holiday episode cameo, am I right?
You don't think it's wrong?
Are you kidding? I'm impressed.
I only remember feeling completely alone. Empty. I just...
Yeesh. Cataract, is that a reference to something that's going over my head? Can he get out? Is he gonna die?
Why are you helping him? Stop! He's coming apart!
What is it, Billy?
Your dad, in my head. He's in trouble.
What? Wow.
Don't sweat it, sis. It's not like your dead husband could die twice.
Oh. Yep, he knew. What? Oh boy. This is so dark, man. This thing is gonna get so big. No! Oh my gosh. They're killing me with these cliffhangers. I gotta know what happens next. Dang it. Oh my goodness, that was so good. Well, I think we've had a few important questions answered in this episode. Pietro, man, I'm not sure what's going on there, but he seems to have memories, unless I'm mistaken, of the other Pietro from the X-Men movies, because like when he talked about her giving people nightmares and stuff, didn't the Wanda in, was it Days of Future Past? I can't remember now. It's been a long time since I've watched the X-Men movies, but I think she was giving people nightmares in that movie. she didn't have a big part, but part of me is wondering if Pietro is not actually Pietro and he's the villain, he's Mephisto or somebody else, because he seems completely aware of everything. Like, he knows Vision's dead, even though he's never met Vision up until this point. And he said a line that really stuck out to me in the episode when he was like telling Billy and Tommy, unleash hell, demon spawn. And I'm like, okay, so we know Mephisto rules hell, basically, and has demons spawn everywhere, has his own demon army. So was that a reference to that? Was that a hint? There's so much going on and so much misdirection and so many hints that I'm just kind of getting overwhelmed with information at this point. But I think we can definitely say at this point that Agnes is not Agatha. She is not in any kind of control. She's completely under Wanda's control, like everybody else in the village. So I think we can scratch her off the list of potential antagonists, probably, even though she was in a witch costume, which was interesting. But yeah, there's something going on with Pietro here, obviously, and I'm not sure if Pietro is just trying to find his way in all this, and there's some kind of manipulation going on with him as well, or if it's actually Mephisto. I don't know, guys. I'm feeling kind of overwhelmed. I'm going to have to watch this episode again. I feel like I never fully grasp each of these until I've watched them 2 or 3 times. So please bear with me. I'm just like, whoa. But this is getting very large scale with Wanda expanding the boundaries of the town so much farther. She's going to be capturing more and more people. And I think this is how we're going to work up to the scale of Doctor Strange getting involved in this. And I really do think there's another antagonist involved here, but Wanda doesn't seem to remember making a deal with anybody or coordinating this with anybody. She just remembers her grief, which is interesting, although maybe she blocked that part out of like making a deal or whatever. But wow, I mean, another big thing we now have confirmation of is a lot of people were like, can this Vision walk out of there and survive in the real world after she resurrected him? And I think this gives us a very clear answer of no. He can only survive and exist within this alternate reality, this pocket dimension she's created for herself. And so she will not let him leave. It's just very dark, very heartbreaking, seeing that lady like on the clothing line and she's like just doing the same motion over and over like a glitch in a video game was very disturbing, very creepy. Yeah, we've got 7, 8, 9. We've got 3 episodes left, unless there's a secret 10th episode, which some of you seem to think is happening. I guess there's rumors floating around, but 3 episodes left, and so much happens in the span of 1 episode. Darcy's now trapped inside this alternate, this reality, this fake reality here. And Monica and Jimmy Woo are going to meet somebody, and we don't know who it is. So I'm very intrigued to find out. And yeah, guys, let me know what you thought of this episode. Let me know what Easter eggs and references you caught that I missed, because my mind is just kind of fried right now. This episode was like an overload of information. And something that didn't even hit me until Pietro pointed it out was like, oh, hey, look at all these kids that are around. And there have been no kids throughout the show so far except for hers. So that was interesting. Yeah, there was just a lot. I was trying to take in all the visuals and the visual symbolism going on and just woo. So let me know what you guys thought of this episode. What Easter eggs did you catch? What are your theories going forward now that we can start answering some of our questions and maybe crossing some people off the list of suspects? Where do you think this is going? What's going to happen? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you guys next week. Bye, guys.